when we got back to Bataan, General MacArthur decided that we were going to meet the enemy as they came up on the beaches. We were going to stop them on the beaches. Well, 3 days later that failed. We didn't stop them on the beaches because they didn't come in. They came down from Lingayen in the forces. And so we started the battle. In February, and I'm trying to keep it short because I know you want to get out of here by 10 o'clock. That's okay, don't worry. What I did was, I did something very good. For your benefit, by the way. Betty, my wife, said to me, you have to go to the little boys' room. I said, not now. What I'm going to do is I'm going to use that as my reason for leaving. So if I have to go, the game is over. By the way, you didn't meet Betty, Tenney. Betty, would you stand up, please? Stand up. Okay. Sometimes you stand up, you still can't see her. But she goes with me every place I go. We've been married now for 50 years. 50 what, 57? Anyhow, we go every place together. And she is my eyes right now, my hands, my feet, because I'm blind. If you don't know it, I'm telling you now. And that's a good thing, because being blind, I can't see notes, which means I don't have any notes. Anyhow, so now we're in the Philippines. In February, President Roosevelt had a fireside chat. His fireside chat was very simple. He asked the people in the United States, and by the way, as a radio operator, I had a radio in my tank, so I had no problem. We all heard it. President Roosevelt said to the people in the United States, take out your maps. Take a look at what we have here. You'll see that there's no way that we can get reinforcements. In fact, in every battle, there must be some people that are given up. And this is what's happening in the Philippines. So, in February, we knew the game was over. It wasn't long after that our General MacArthur, who was on Corregidor. By the way, let me share this with you also. I think that a lot of people didn't know this, and I like to tell the things you may not know. On Bataan was Army, soldiers. On Corregidor was the Navy and the Marines. The Marines came in from China when the war started. So the Marines and the Navy was on Corregidor, which is a little island off of Bataan. Army was on Bataan. The United States Army Air Corps, which was a part of the Army, was mostly in Mindanao. They were stationed there. So when the war started, we had no airplanes except what was in Clark Field. They went up in the matter of 2.5 hours. We had no planes left. They took every one of them and killed them. Moved. And so now we're fighting a war that MacArthur decides that he's going to move to Corregidor and take all the food and medicine supplies to Corregidor, because he didn't expect the war to continue any longer. And then, of course, he left to go to Australia. And then he got the Medal of Honor. If you think I like that, you're wrong. Anyhow, so what did we have in Bataan starting in February, early March? We were eating iguanas, monkeys, and snakes. The rice was almost all gone. We had nothing else. There were 58,000 Filipino troops, 12,000 American troops, and what had happened was that the civilians in the area all came onto Bataan looking for security. So we ended up with another 35,000 to 40,000 civilians. More people than we possibly could have fed if we didn't have the food for it. That's what we had. You may ask the question, what did the tanks do on Bataan once we got back there? That was in January we got back. And so here it is, January, February, March, the first part of April. What did we do? Well, let me tell you what the tank's job was. The Japanese had a line. They had a line of where the Japanese stopped. The Polar Road, right across, from one across to the other, that's where the Japanese were. Now the Japanese were trying on a daily basis to bring that line down and force us away. They were trying to force us to the water. So they were here. And what they did was they tried to start by having pockets. Let me explain. A pocket. That means that this Japanese group here would try to come down from where they were and form a pocket. And if they can end up with enough pockets and then move together, they would have a new line. So they could start here, that's what they would do. That's what they tried. And the tanks were brought in every day then to keep them up. We weren't trying to win the war. All we were trying to do was to shut them up. You came down, we're going to push you back up again. And that's what we tried to do. That's what we did. That was our job there for a while. Now, what happened on April 3rd, very interesting, before that actually, the Japanese were so upset that they did not win the Philippines and Bataan in their 52 days that they planned. Here it was, January, February, March, and they were real upset with themselves. And so instead of continuing the flotilla, they had a flotilla on their way to Australia. About 35,000 troops and ammunition and equipment. The Japanese turned them around and brought them back to the Philippines, to Lingayen, because they had to do one thing. They had to win Bataan. It was a thorn in their side. And on April 3rd, they started. Machine guns. They didn't care what they did. The death, the bullets, the smell was awful. It continued on from the 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, until the Japanese actually brought us all the way down to the water. Our machine guns were so hot that the barrel of the machine gun would bend. That's how hot it got from just the bullets that were coming out. Bullets, let me tell you something about bullets. When I sit on my, I just want to sit on this chair. That's good. Thank you. Thank you very much. I just like to sit down every once in a while. Let me tell you something about bullets that you may be interested in also. You know that we were using Springfield rifles manufactured in 1917. We were using arms and ammunition manufactured in 1915. We were using ammunition and rifles manufactured in those years. And here we were fighting a war against Japan with all new equipment that they had. We did not have it. We had nothing but the old army from World War I. We still had the World War I helmets. You know, the square ones, you most probably remember those? Yeah, that's what we had. And that's how we fought the war.